is the only Bible verse that talks about money. There's so many, plenty of stories. It's just these Bible verses which I use tend to touch me. So, there was another young man. Another young man. I'm going to keep telling you stories. This other young man always had the dream of being rich. But for some reason, he would wag school. And all of a sudden, he would go into the city with all of his friends. The city, which is not known, it's not known. And he will go into the city, and all of a sudden he'll ask for $1 for some person. He'll go, "Oh, excuse me, please. Do you have like a spare $1 or two on you?" And all of a sudden, his friends will do exactly the same. At the end of that day, they'll all end up with the sum of like at least $50 in coins. And they will have the biggest feed in, I don't know, what's your junk food places, like Pizza Hut, Subway, you know. They will have these biggest feeds and they will drink from the same cup. I mean, these young boys were so into that mentality of getting money that they started stealing it. I mean, all of a sudden, this young man would come and at least say, "Oh, he'll just show the budget person." And all of a sudden, he'll be quick enough to be able to steal his necklace. And he would sell it. He would sell the stuff that he would steal. And here it says that he will bring greediness. And greediness, all of a sudden, with the mentality of Scarface, that money will bring you power. That is the idea. So now, I'm going to start talking about addictions. My opinion on addictions, like you see these pictures of what it is, but addictions is not necessarily due to do with drugs. I mean, sometimes, my opinion is something that you cannot live without. Oh, I cannot live without chatting on the internet. My friends, that is an addiction. So, what does it say about addictions? 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. I mean, if you can think of a verse that will bring addictions onto that, there's so many. It's just this one captivated me. Brings me to another young man. He was at least 14 to 15 years old. He was at a shopping mall. He always had the dream of, because like, all of a sudden he would be listening to hip-hop and in rap videos and drug videos, there's always drug users. And he wanted to try marijuana. I mean, he wanted to try it so badly that he would ask anybody, you know, "Oh, what's marijuana like?" Yeah. So one time in this shopping mall, he would go and he saw another young man that went to his school, imagine. And all of a sudden, he saw him smoking something. And he asked him, "Oh, what is that? Is that marijuana?" And he's like, "No, cigarette." "Oh, yeah, I want to smoke marijuana." He's like, "Yeah, it's got a little bit of it in it." So what he did, he asked him, "Oh, can I try some? Can I try?" He took his first puff. He took it. And like every other person who has ever tried cigarettes his first time, they start coughing. And his friend would get cut at him. "Hey man, you're wasting it." It's a cigarette. And then, like, I think there's so many cigarettes, there's many strains and everything. There's even menthol cigarettes. So he was choking. Until he decided to get a little bit immune to that cigarette on his first puff. And then it came that After that first cigarette, he tended to lead it into another ride, which got him to where he wanted to be, smoking marijuana. My friend, he got addicted to nicotine before he got addicted to marijuana. And apparently marijuana is not addictive, it's a laxative, that means it relaxes you, but still. Vanity. I like this picture. I was looking into the net and I found the most funniest picture ever. This picture has this woman looking at herself in the mirror. She's looking at herself and she's like, man, I'm beautiful. I'm the most amazing person. I am the most incredible person ever. Have any of us ever said that to ourselves? I am the best. I am cool. Okay, answer you. Don't raise your hands, just do it in conscience. So my opinion on vanity happens to be you're trying to copy what you wanted to be in the first place. You're trying to copy. I mean, like I look at these rap stars. I tend to put the guy over there, you know, Daddy Yankee. You're like, that dude is the most funniest person because he came up with a term, lo que pasó, pasó. What happened, happened, you know? and like you tend to start thinking, okay, these are people, but for some reason the young people follow that music and they tend to copy the way they dance. They tend to copy the way they dress up. My friends, you're trying to copy the people. Right there. And for women as well. Look at that. Like, women who tend to be models. I mean, who ever dreamed to become a supermodel? And wanted to be modeling across the red carpet? That dream for desiring to become better than what you are. Let's see what the Bible says about that. In Isaiah chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. Their land is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. People bow down, and each man humbles himself. Therefore, do not forgive them. I underlined the first one. Their land is full of idols. And I put it in red in here. And each man humbles himself. Reminds me of this other young person. This young person was around the age of 15 and 16. Who's 15 and 16 around here? Well, this young man always had the dream of becoming a rapper. He dreamed it. He dreamt of becoming the best of what he wanted to be. He will practice on his computer and he will copy some songs and he'll be like, yeah man, this is me man, yeah. I mean, this dude wanted to copy the top stars in hip hop. And like, and you would imagine that this young man was becoming somebody else. So this young man one day decided to dress up all hip hop. Another time he'll dress up with tight jeans because, you know, as I told you before, as you become, like for example, when I told you at first, you become seduced and then you become a seducer. You want money, now you want more. You are addicted to nicotine, you tend to addict everybody else with you. Now, with all of that, on top of all of that, all of a sudden now, you have every right that, hey man, I'm doing my life. This is me, vida, my life. And there's nobody that can tell me what to do. Sometimes, like, you tend to imagine this young man. Don't you picture yourself? Which tends to lead me to death. Death, in my opinion, And here's a perfect picture of the death that I'm talking about.